These three descriptions of a way of cooking, mindfully, intuitively, and creatively, are three different ways of being while cooking. They are interrelated, yet they are not exactly the same. Let's break it down. Cooking mindfully means being present with the experience of cooking. Pay attention to the information that is coming to you through your senses. What do the aromas tell you? What do the tastes tell you? What do you hear? What do you see? And what do you feel? When it comes to cooking and eating, our senses of smell and taste work together to provide information. Have you ever eaten with an impaired sense of smell? Nothing tastes quite right. As you cook, what are the aromas telling you about how your food will taste? There are five basic elements of taste, including salty, sweet, sour, bitter, and umami. Through mindful eating, notice each of these flavors as they hit your tongue. Notice when they're combined and what effect that has on the overall flavor. As you're cooking with heat, the sizzles and snaps and pops tell you if your temperature is too high or not high enough, or if it's time to take your pan off the heat altogether. The way the food looks as you chop, dice, brown, and steam gives you important information. And as you stir and flip, your utensils are extensions of your hands. You can feel how tender each ingredient is. Practicing mindfulness while cooking lets you know the exact moment when your food is ready. Maybe last time you preferred a specific tenderness or caramelization on a dish. If you're paying attention, through mindfulness practice, you can better recognize that moment. Creative cooking is accomplished through a mindset of curiosity and experimentation. When you ask yourself, what happens if I combine these two flavors? You are practicing cooking creatively. You may have already guessed that creative cooking is enhanced through mindfulness. As you are experimenting with flavor combinations, notice that if you smell two herbs together and their aromas mix well together, their flavors are also likely to mix well together. Taste is not the only variable in cooking. Attitude, equipment, temperature, and humidity can all have an effect on the final dish. The author of a recipe is not the ultimate authority. You and your senses are. Think of a recipe as a guided meditation. The instructions tell you what to pay attention to as you are cooking. As you shift into intuitive cooking, you pay more and more attention to your senses than the recipe. Have you ever known a cook, perhaps a grandmother, who never measures anything? They just know when it looks right. That kind of knowing isn't magic. It comes from experience. Intuition emerges when you have enough experience and information coming in through the senses for your brain to skip labored conscious thought. Your brain receives information from your sense of smell, for example, and your feet and hands automatically start moving in the right direction. These neural pathways also include information from the body. As you're shopping, your body might be sending information to the brain about what nutrients you need. You find yourself drawn to a specific fruit or vegetable. Your memories of culinary experience and what ingredients you already have in your pantry have you reaching for an herb and perhaps a whole grain to complete this meal. Conscious thought is needed for moments of creativity. That part of your brain is curious about different ways you can add sweet to this dish, and you intentionally search for a new fruit that you haven't tried before. By paying attention to your senses and the experience of cooking, you can build the neural pathways of intuition and also open yourself up to being more creative in the kitchen.